just do some sort of a return on time calculation, right? So like we do an ROI calculation, just do a ROT calculation where if I invest a year of my life into this, does it cover my baseline where I am currently? They feel if they're more passionate, they'll get more returns.
ऐसा नहीं होता,
ऐसा नहीं होता है.
ये रियल लाइफ है. कैलकुलेट कर लो. हाउ डू यू एज अ क्रिएटिव कंपनी स्केल?
Then you've got to figure out the metrics that you measure yourself on, because those are the metrics you will double. I mean, you can't grow something that you can't measure. I would again discourage anyone who is thinking of entrepreneurship at the cost of formal education. When they say that AI will empower you, AI will empower a few.
Okay.
Those who want to be empowered.
What are some of the misconceptions around celebrity weddings that you've like heard of or noticed?
You will not become rich because of your profession. You will become wealthy because of your investment.
Very true.
Simple as that.
What's the most important thing in a wedding? सब जो गेस्ट्स आते हैं उनके लिए तो खाना सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होता है. Then maybe the outfits, but क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है? The bride is anyway going to look the best. I will tell you what is the most important. It's the photos, because those are the memories that you cherish forever. And today our guest has taken some amazing photos of me. Not at my wedding, but at my best friend's wedding. I am super happy to have him on our show today. Everybody welcome Mr. Anand Rathi. Hello, yay!
Thank you. That is going up on my LinkedIn profile.
है ना?
the one-liner about making people happy. Yeah.
About
I have
like
a
the
real
memories
job,
and-
Dad.
Yeah. That is so true. And now you are officially the founder CEO, I want to say, at Reels and Frames.
I am, yeah.
And at Algomage.
Algomage. Algorithm image.
Algorithm image. Okay,
Yeah.
Algomage. Interesting. We'll come to Algomage in a bit.
Sure.
But like you said, Dad, I have a real job.
Yeah.
Okay. It did not start off as like that, did it?
No.
You did the whole traditional path?
Yeah, I was born in Rajasthan. I grew up in Jaipur. So, we weren't afforded, what's the word I'm looking for? Choices. so you're given
Choice वो क्या होता है?
हाँ नहीं the choice होता है वैसे in Raj, come on, I mean for
Commerce
everybody
होता है, science होता है.
exactly or commerce, yeah, science hota hai, right? Yeah, so that is literally what my career options were before even I knew what career options meant. It is either become a CA or an engineer.
लो, इतने सारे options है.
Yeah, there's too much to choose from. I chose the latter.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, to your point, right, that I have a real job, that took I'm calculating this for the first time, but it took me from 12th standard, which is took me about 14 years to get to that line.
Oh.
That I have a real job.
Damn.
Because everything in between, my father always was like,
ये थोड़ी है. ये थोड़ी.
yeah, right. So it is all, it was all a very extended time pass. One was 14 years? Oh my God.
Wow, that is true.
That is deep. So for my father, it was a one was. He wouldn't discuss his son's career with anyone for 14 years.
Oh God.
And then I had some bit of recognition. So
Nice.
So in-house.
So you are an MBA and then you went into equity trading.
Yeah.
And now, sorry, yes.
Started off as an engineer.
Okay.
I had an offer from Cisco. Which
The
I
dream.
didn't take up.
Of course you did.
The
not.
nightmare. Uske baad I started trading. My dad's from the finance field. He's a broker.
Okay.
So if your dad owns the casino, you get...
You get
No, it's nothing
some
like
chips.
So my dad just owned the casino. He didn't give me the chips.
Arre.
So
I
I
thought
had
he
to-
gave you some chips to play with.
No, so chips, maybe uncle chips, but no, not real money. So I had to sort of work with my own money, whatever little I had. And then I had the most, and this is right out of engineering. So I had the most amazing education, while I was at it. For anybody who's in finance will know this day, January 17, 2009.
Oh my God.
Everybody was suddenly very, very educated because
Extremely.
they realized shit just got real.
Yeah, and
So,
shit could really hit the fan.
yeah, it could hit the fan. Double market, lower circuit. It was a 1-day MBA, right? And I was there waiting to waiting to sort of offload my position while the Nifty was in a free fall. And that was sort of my baptism by fire.
Oi, oi.
Right. So then again, I didn't sort of stop there. I wanted to pursue this formally, like learn. So I pursued my MBA, then came back.
Next logical step, right?
Yeah. I mean, how do you know what you want to do in your life? You first do engineering.
Then you do an MBA.
Then you do an MBA, and then you are suddenly clear कि यही तो दोनों नहीं करना था.
Correct.
So then I had this epiphany कि हाँ अब समझ में आ गया ये दोनों नहीं करना.
Correct.
But till then I'd given away too many of mine and some of my family's hard-earned dollars to educational institutes. So I sort of started working my way back up, and that's how I started.
And where did you start working your way back up?
Where? So my stints were mostly in corporate finance. Very interesting, treasury management.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's as interesting as it sounds.
As interesting as it sounds. There is no treasure. And there is barely any management.
Yeah, no treasury mismanagement should have been the role. Because it's treasury and it's India. Yeah. So anyways, I mean, the joke settles there that it is as interesting as it sounds. There was nothing interesting. But it was a good learning experience. And yeah, that was like the sort of small corporate career that I had.
So then how did photography kind of come about? Were you always intrigued about it, or?
Yeah. My mom says I came out and camera was my first word. Yeah.
I love that joke.
Yeah. So
na mama bola na papa
camera. Right. So no, I again in my extensive list of choices, unfortunately. Art was not one of them.
Okay.
Right? So it was commerce, engineering.
Of course.
So I really there was no bend of art. I still think I'm still learning. I mean, honestly, because when as a child you've not been exposed to art, and balance sheets don't count as art, right?
Debatable, but okay.
Yeah, right. If you're Enron, sure. But
not really. It's not supposed to be art.
It wasn't very... and it wasn't an artistic household growing up. And hence, the exposure to any form of art wasn't there. Correct. Appreciation to any form of art wasn't there. I actually picked up my first camera because my dad, being the Madu dad, he asked, "Tum pad to rahe ho na? Kahin ghum boom to nahi rahe?" I was like, "No, I did go around." He said, "Acha, hame kaise pata? Photos bhejo." I'm like, "I don't have a camera." And this is back in the days when phone cameras were still... I think just the iPhone was just about launch or something like that. So then I bought a DSLR.
Interesting.
The only reason I bought it was proof of this is my university, this is my professor.
Wow.
These are the classes
Proof of study was DSLR.
DSLR. That was the reason, intent, right? It was almost like I was on my own FBI work, right? Yeah. So forensic photographer. I began as a forensic. ये मेरा पहला genre था.
Forensic photographer to prove to own father.
Own father, right? Right. And then it sort of started snowballing into this. Okay, I like traveling. Can I take my camera along? And then when I came back to India, like a Peter Parker Spider-Man routine, right?
Oh, I love it.
So 5 days Peter Parker, weekend pe Spider-Man.
Weekend pe Spider-Man.
Nikal pade camera lekar, right?
Nice.
And whatever comes my way, I will shoot it. Happily so.
Yeah.
I'd just gotten married. We used to annoy the hell out of my wife. My first and till date the only unpaid model. And before I knew, one day that one friend invited me to his wedding and said, "Tu aa raha hai na?
Camera lekar aana."
Camera la raha hai na? Yeah, got the message.
Got the message.
Yeah, so I just sort of shot my heart out.
Nice.
Gave him some really crappy pictures.
I love it.
And he didn't figure it out. He hasn't figured it out until yet, so we'll keep it a secret. And that's how wedding photography happened for me.
Wow, so it was like a happy accident.
Happy for me, accident for him, surely. Yeah. So Wedding photography was just love at first click.
So you enjoyed the entire process of that first wedding as well?
Yeah, man, it was like you almost you've seen that movie Band Baja
Yeah.
Barat, right?
Yeah.
This that guy just finds a love for wedding the first time he enters the arena, and you just can't. It was
Yeah.
addiction
Yeah.
from that point onwards.
Yeah.
But of course, with a corporate job by the day,
Yeah.
and weddings usually happen on the weekends. Most people sort of,
So
yeah. So still
so
that
it
continued.
works with the corporate world.
Yeah, it works with the corporate world. It doesn't work with the married world.
Yeah.
I was married.
Because हफ्ता भर चला गया, weekend भी चला गया, बचा क्या? कुछ नहीं.
Yeah. So I was the correspondent husband.
Oh God.
So yeah, but I was having a ball. That was how I
Clearly.
started.
So freelancing, experimented with that, and then kind of when did you take the jump to be like, nahi, corporate life is not happening. I'm going to focus on this full time.
I took the plunge because of guilt, right? So it was more
Okay.
like I don't know. I was so naive back then. I felt that I'm doing a disservice to the company I was working for because I clearly had some time at hand which I was devoting to another activity.
इतनी शिद्दत
Uh, I
कहाँ से?
I don't know, man. I was like this, the small town boy, and he was like, "Nani, this is wrong. I can't be like accumulating my leaves, which I did earn, and going and making earning something out of it." So I just went up to my
This is
boss and
extra
said,
shiddat, bro.
"Yeah, man. Like, imagine."
Nowadays, the people are like, oh, 5 different side hustles I can do with my 9 to 5 job and one side hustle. ऐसा.
Yeah. No. For me, it was a one woman, one job kind of a
अरे
man.
अरे.
So I took it too seriously, and again, it was starting to take a toll because
Of course.
you're basically working 7 days.
Yeah.
And one day I just went up to my then boss and said, "Listen, I have a confession." That was my opening line,
Yeah.
and my boss must have went, "Oh my God, what kind of a
Yeah, मतलब क्या
what,
तो
what's
चोरी वोरी कर रहा है क्या?
sicko freako have I hired?" And I said, "Look, I'm doing this on the weekends, and I feel that that's taking away from what I do on the weekdays."
He must have been like, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he's gonna shide me for sure
Yeah.
because by then my boss had a very similar profile.
Huh.
He was from IIT and then did his MBA from Paris and worked his way up the corporate ladder. Really nice guy, and I thought he's gonna just take my case. And the thing he said just sort of changed everything in my life. He said, "तुम photographer बनना चाहते हो?" Yes, मैं पियानो बजाना चाहता था बट मैं अटक गया.
Oh
अब
my
तुम
God.
जाओ
Oh.
और photography करो. So it was my Ja Simran Ja moment
Wow.
coming from my boss. And I'm
Wow.
like, but agar nahi hua to? So he said, listen, you just try it out for 6 months. We'll call it a sabbatical. And I'll hold the seat for 6 months.
Can I just ask for such bosses for everybody? Just putting it out there.
Yeah,
Manifesting it for everyone.
Best boss ever, right? He showed me how I would plan my own exit and
Yeah.
also the parachute.
Exactly.
So everything was just at that moment it was like okay, like it felt like a mountain off my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, cool. I packed my bags and moved to Bombay. It's been 13 years since. So the resume is kind of dented.
It's like, that was then, this is now. The sabbatical started for 6 months. It's been 13 years.
Yeah. So I don't think he's taking me back.
Yeah. Now I think that seat is gone.
Yeah. So that is gone. But that literally was it. That was the moment I sort of found the courage to take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
Of course, my wife, when I told her that, hey, honey,
BT dubs.
honey, I quit the job. my courage soon got another adjective. How foolish.
How foolish.
So courage and foolishness ka thin divide ke beech mein I jumped to Bombay.
Nice.
That was me.
Very interesting. And the line that you said, right, where nahi hua to, that's literally half of the reason why a lot of us don't kind of take that risk, take that plunge. Fear of failure.
Right.
You had a very, very supportive boss at that time who would kind of, help you back it up. Yeah. What would you say to somebody who kind of is struggling through that fear of failure of like, mujhe photography karna hai, but nahi hua to?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
See, you've already sort of hinted at one of the solutions, right? It's I wear 5 hats, sometimes at the same time during the day. I know people who do that. Like within a day job, they're still even their coffee break is maybe
a quick text to the client on the side.
Yeah, a quick text to this Shopify or whatever, quickly checking their Shopify store. So people have started to find avenues to dip
Mitigate
their
that
toe
risk.
into the water. That's a great way, right? Rather than just pack bags and move from a city to another. So
Like certain people do. How
yeah,
foolish.
so I know who does that. That is one of the things that so you just test the waters in limited capacity. The other thing would be just do some sort of a return on time calculation, right? So like we do an ROI calculation, just do a ROT calculation where if I invest a year of my life into this, does it cover my baseline where I am currently? Most people sort of confuse passion with the returns, right? They feel if they're more passionate, they'll get more returns.
ऐसा नहीं होता.
ऐसा नहीं होता है, right? So
ये real life है. Calculate कर लो.
Exactly. So thanks to the financial education people like you out there who have sort of shown the torch on these aspects, one can now calculate that ROT before you make the jump.
Yeah.
So I didn't know my ROT, right? So I jumped and I then started assembling the parachute. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So start with, dipping your toes into the water, do a ROT calculation. It could be a 1 year or 2 year horizon, but 2 years should be really the max for assessment horizon. And I guess the third thing would be, depending on the stage of the life you're in, just figure out how financially independent you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Can your savings take care of you for that ROT calculation? Because there will be a curve, and you're hoping it's a J curve, but what if it's just a normal polynomial curve, right? It's it might take you some time to taste the success. So just these three things. If I wish I would have done that. I sound so wise in hindsight.
All of us, right? All of us are
I'm
wise.
A brilliant
Hindsight's
guy.
2020.
Brilliant guy. Looking back, I'm a brilliant guy. Only that I was looking only front, right? So
amazing decision making, but
retrospectively.
Retrospectively.
Yeah. Retrospectively, I'm a genius.
Aren't we all? So then, Reels and Frames happened. Did it happen almost immediately?
No, actually, my first business partner was my wedding photographer.
Oh, okay.
So we founded a company which we ran for a couple of years. He had to actually move out of Bombay. So that's where I was.
हाँ मतलब आप आए तो उनको भगा दिया.
Not really. He's actually we still continue to be good friends. He's in Goa. He wanted a different life.
That's so cool.
And I had to sort of rebrand, and that's how Reels and Frames was born. A name that was just filed in because I was getting late. But I had to make an invoice, so I had to come up with a name, and I just at that time I just
दिख रहा है तो हो गया types.
Yeah, I mean, had I known Reels is going to be a thing 10 years later, I would have trademarked that thing.
Yeah,
but
Instagram would have paid you so much money.
Exactly, man. And Reels and Frames was born with 2 employees. One me, who's CEO come
founder,
head waiter, everything.
HR,
everything. And then there was my wife, who was this. I'm pretty sure there are some labor laws protecting her, would have protected her from the kind of work I threw at her. Like, edit these images in 3 hours. And she's like, boss, I have a regular job. I can't. Yeah.
No, sorry. Mine is more important.
More like, please. Please, and just fall to her feet, please. And bail me out. Every day, bail me out. So it started as a mom and pop store.
Nice.
And then people just sort of kept joining in. People who were coming from all fields but photography, right? As a photography company, what do you want? You want people coming out of film institute, photography institute,
with experience,
artists, right? Like
big thinkers.
Yeah, Moulin Rouge. But Akon Rai lawyers, architects, BBA grads, MBA, engineers.
And you have to accept them because you yourself are not from the institute, industry, etc.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, maybe
this is my jam.
This is my what do you say? This is my pull. That's the kind of people I attract, and that's what we'll work with.
Yeah.
So that's how it started to snowball into.
That's really cool, though.
In this company, and then everybody sort of aligned on their love for art. That till now
Nice.
remains the bottom line.
Nice. So that's your tagline for your internal kind of
नहीं, tagline तो
feel.
अलग है.
क्या है tagline?
Free food, free travel, decent photos.
I love it.
It's
अच्छी अच्छी जगह अच्छी अच्छी शादी देखने को मिलेगी.
decent photos. Till somebody catches us कि यार, these guys are these the artists we hire? But yeah, I mean, honestly, we love the perks that the job comes with.
Yeah.
We fall in love with almost all of our clients. We're
Of
just
course.
emotional fools like that.
I know. I mean,
So,
we've known each other for so long
yeah,
now.
you've seen me at very initial phases of
Very
my
initial,
career, I
yeah.
would say. And till date, I mean, I'm the same curious kid every time I show up at a wedding.
I love it.
Just every wedding is such a it's like a entertainment variety hour, right? For 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'm still addicted.
That's amazing. Packed and filled with love.
Yeah.
So Reels and Flames clearly snowballed as you attracted different kinds of people from everywhere. But now you've expanded to 32 countries, if I'm not wrong.
We've shot in 32 countries.
You've shot in 32 countries.
Yeah.
And you have clients all over the world.
Yeah.
So you've expanded quite a bit.
We've grown from a small
Mom and pop store.
Mom and pop store to we're like 35ish plus. It's not large, but I'd say it's
still
sizable. Okay.
Yeah, it's still sizable.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be on somebody who wants to scale their business, which is not like a basic manufacturing business की मतलब product है ज़्यादा बेचो scale हो जाएंगे नहीं, not like that. This is a creative field, right?
Yeah.
For example, now it's difficult for you to be at more wedding than one.
Yeah.
So how do you as a creative company scale?
The case study I always go back anytime anyone asks me this question is Sabyasachi. Right? Because at the end, while he's selling a product, the product carries his name.
Yeah.
It's not even a generic name, a brand name. It's his name. There is a certain amount of service involved
100%.
Because when you walk into a Sabya store,
There has to be that
pampering.
Yeah.
There is a great deal of presentation involved, not just of the product itself, but the ethos.
Store, yeah.
The whole thing is very, very presentable. So how did that one women's luxury lehenga manufacturer scale to the levels where he did? And my observation, whatever limited I know of him and read him and I've met him, is you've got to have certain brand KPI. I'd say yeah, KPI is a fine word, right? There's a certain KPIs that he'd measure himself on, right? And those are the similar KPIs that we work with. So when you're thinking of scaling a business that is, say, not scalable in a typical manufacturing sense, right? You can't double your production by putting up 2 factories. Then you've got to figure out the metrics that you measure yourself on, because those are the metrics you will double.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't grow something that you can't measure.
Yeah.
To begin with. So there are some metrics that we have internally. We track them. And every time we see the growth levels, we figure out that this is where we need to push to achieve the next phase of growth.
Could you tell me a few of those KPIs?
I'll have to kill you if I do. No, I'm kidding. A KPI for us would be the number of award-winning images.
Nice.
Right? So
that's a nice one.
There is a science to in that. At least we feel so. And that the journey to that, there is some method to the madness.
Yeah.
So now we've figured that it's not a spray and pray approach. For example, if you're shooting X number of events today and we start shooting 3X, our probability of winning awards doesn't go up by 3 times.
Because it's not that
it's not a linear relation. So you figure out what are the KPIs and then you sort of downstream them down to the last person. Right? Your guy carrying the tripod has to know what is he being measured on, so that eventually he performs better there, so that your photographer performs better, so that your editor does that, XYZ, or customer success manager does ABC, and that's how you get to that final destination.
Nice. So it's efficiency at every level.
Right. First, figure out organization level KPIs, and your sort of the top tier of the organization has to be completely on the same page with that.
Yeah.
That's my number one sort of mantra for scaling. And then it perlocates down.
Nice.
And pan organization, you've got to have these KPIs also summed up in some sort of simple values to understand. Like we have a value system. We actually have RNF principles. We have 5 of them.
Nice. What are they?
So I'll give you a few, right? Some of them you might know from Phil Knight, the shoe dog. So we are always on the offense, right? Like even on the best year that we've had, we're measuring what all did we do, which was offense, which is something new. Your job isn't over until the job is over, right? So which means if the client satisfaction is a KPI and I could affect that, and
it's not done yet.
And it's not done yet, and maybe my lead is for some reason not able to sort of execute that, I can step in. I can get the job done. So those are like there are 5 such.
Yeah, but those are great ones. Nice. I like that.
Yeah. So those are the values that allow people at every level to understand what are we trying to do, and then scaling eventually happens. Yeah.
It's very interesting. And coming to Algomage, when did that come about and what is it about? And I believe you were on Shark Tank with that.
I was.
Pitched for Shark Tank.
I did. I mean, I was in season 1. We went there. We got a couple of offers. We couldn't take them because of some valuation issues, but we did what needed to be done.
But that's amazing.
Yeah,
you got it out there.
We got it out there. It was Algomage was born out of just a problem that so many clients had posted to us over the years that, hey, thanks for these amazing images. How do I get mine? And that's just not the bride or the groom. That's the remaining 99% people who were attending an event. So we realized there are 2 problems. Why does it happen? One is, well, the post-production, the editing piece takes forever. And by then people have lost the steam, including the key stakeholders, the bride, the groom, their families. And the second thing we realized is even if it was done fast, there has to be an iPhotos or a Google Photos kind of a way to
sift through it.
I just see my pictures. And I tried looking for solutions. Honestly, this was just an accidental case. I kept looking. Even wrote to Google that, is there an enterprise version of Google Photos that I can just take the APIs and just execute it, right? And get the job done. I couldn't find anything. Then there was a request at Akash and Shloka's wedding. And that sort of became like this, okay, if we can prove it to them, that would be super nice.
We got it.
We may have, we would have unlocked the highest level of demand and expectation management. And we did. We coded a dirty prototype, got the job done, got great response from it.
Nice.
And for a year, we just ran it as an internal thing. And after that, productization happened, company was made, we raised funds, blah, blah. But the idea of Algomage in one sentence is very simple. We want to deliver content faster and more efficiently using machine learning.
Nice.
So what usually takes 2 to 3 months is now actually going to be a 2.5-day process.
Oh, wow. And so is it a B2B kind of setup for that?
Yes, it is a B2B setup wherein we're still contemplating on the B2C side of things. But on a B2B level, whoever is shooting any sort of content for you today, if his timeline was X, Algomage can help cut that down to about X by 10, 1/10, and can deliver it to about 20x more, for 20x more impressions than he was, whatever channel he was using earlier. So that's our premise.
And this is for photos or videos as well?
Photos.
Okay.
Images.
Interesting. Images.
Yeah.
Nice. Very, very cool.
Yeah, Dad, I still have that engineering degree.
So it still works. See?
It still works.
Now he's going to say that, मैंने बोला था पढ़ाई कभी मतलब
waste
नहीं जाती.
Yeah. I think that's been my motto in life. I felt that engineering degree will just go to waste. Like I never used integration in my life ever again. Right? I was so sad for all the hours but the mindset of problem solving, sort of I owe it to the engineering studies. So, or at least mindset of solving analytical problems, I owe it to engineering.
Yeah.
Money management, I owe it to the MBA. And a lot of these were dormant for the longest time, but life has its own ways of working, right?
Exactly.
Sari degrees vasool ho jati hain.
I love it.
So, yeah.
See, that's why whenever anybody disses kind of formal education or higher education now, I'm like, hey, You never know when it will come to use.
Oh, yeah. I would again discourage anyone who is thinking of entrepreneurship at the cost of formal education. I don't think it sounds cool, right? It sounds
It
very
really does.
Bill Gates or Zuckerbergish that I dropped out and I founded this company. I hear that, but come on, how, unless you're in a space which is getting affected because of your 1 year of educational commitment, you really need to have some reason to
Exactly. And it has
drop
to be
out.
big enough. It has to be a 1 in a million. It's not for everybody. And
Yeah.
even if you are that 1 in a million, those 2 years may not make that difference.
If you are the one in the million,
then sure, then you know.
then you know
Yeah.
already.
That
I
it's
mean,
gonna happen.
then why sign up for that
Exactly.
education, right? If you already knew it.
No, and then who are we to tell you if you are
Exactly,
that one in
right?
a million?
You figured life.
But if you have even a little bit of a doubt, just finish it and then do
Exactly.
whatever you need
Finish
to.
it.
Yeah. Okay, so now whatever Algomage is doing, is it something like, is it just improving efficiency at the edit level, or is it going to kind of play into the fears of people and kind of, AI taking over jobs and all that little scare business?
AI will take over jobs, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a photographer till one of the companies launches that humanoid who
Who's
can
just like walking around and taking
walking around and
pictures
clicking pictures, right? And he can follow Sarla Chachi for all the wishes that she wants.
for the full wedding?
For the full wedding, she'd be happy. I mean, honestly, that is a very, very real scenario 10 years down the line, right? But not to sound cliche, when they say that AI will empower you, AI will empower a few,
Okay.
those who want to be empowered.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? A chat GPT will help the copywriters who are ready to put in their work on how to write good prompts.
Yeah.
Because writing prompts is not easy.
No, it's not.
But a chat GPT will not help someone who's just looking at it as this lazy whale I will just keep riding on. That whale will take you down. Right? So
you can't do everything for you.
it
It
can
may.
it may do, right? So one thing that's for sure is if you required 5 people for a certain job, certain kind of jobs, you would be able to do them with one person, which is happening. I've seen that happen with us and a lot of other companies within our field and outside. There's people who don't evolve, as I said, they will get left behind and they'll be fossilized very soon. That is going to be there. Now, can it completely replace human intelligence? In some jobs, no. Especially emotional or erratic decision making, where a human himself might be unsure.
Yeah.
That I don't think an AI will right now be able to do that, right? Because when you're yourself not sure, playing poker, right? Let's say, great example, right?
Yeah.
When you are yourself not sure that will I bet every time in this situation or not, at that time an AI can't help you. But if it is about making tax returns,
Sure.
it's very, very methodological. It is
You feed in the steps and it'll kind of do it
it's
for
by
you.
the books, so it can do it for you. So you just got to figure out what kind of job do you do on a day in day out basis and start moving up the ladder using the very AI that threatens your current job.
Yeah.
Right?
So just kind of secure yourself that way.
Yeah. You got to be that guy who knows how to operate with the AI that's relevant for your field rather than somebody directing it to you.
Interesting. So in this kind of balance between creativity and technicality, I guess, because you have a fairly creative job, you also have a fairly technical mind.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy more, the creative aspect or the technical aspect?
So they say, right, the brain has two hemispheres, the left and the right.
Yes.
And I don't know which one is creative. I'm assuming the left is meant to be analytical, right is meant to be.
I don't know. I forgot.
But I don't think my creative side has grown very much. It is still evolving in the diagram. If
it's still kind of
it's
whatever.
just very small and evolving. For me, everything in life is down to simple math, simple physics, maybe simple biology and chemistry.
Interesting.
Even images, right?
Really?
There is a reason why you like a certain image. You subconsciously, if I put you on the spot and now I
Huh.
ask you, why did you like this image?
Huh.
You may not have an answer,
Huh.
but
But
if
there's something playing.
there is something, it's scientific.
Mm-hmm.
It is color science, it is geometry. Remember good old Pythagoras uncle?
Yeah, like it's like a percentage of the image should be this and that and
The
the
rule of
colors.
thirds and the leading lines, the golden ratios. This is all this is 8th class geometry haunting you back.
I'm just
And
like screaming coming back to me now.
yeah. So that a square plus b square equal to c square, uska
Yeah.
actually kahin value hai.
Huh.
And that's how that's my lens to look at the photography world.
Very interesting.
Right? I'm not one of those gifted, talented artists who will just see something and just
And be
take
like,
out the camera and
pata hai.
one shot, one kill, and like a cowboy. No, I just go by the rules, and they play to your advantage.
Very interesting. I've never heard this kind of side to a passionate profession before, like photography. I've
Oh,
not.
even music. Like
Yes.
if you sort of research into Interstellar is a great example, right?
Yeah.
Dunkirk, Interstellar.
Yeah.
Again, Nolan is known to be
Have a
very
technical.
yeah, like the metronomes in
Yeah.
that music. They're all very, very scientific. They are meant to evoke a certain emotion
Yeah. And they do it every time.
every time, and they change when you are within the dream. In Inception, the metronomes are different when you're so subconsciously is playing with your mind, and that's the great intersection of this Venn diagram where art meets science. And
It's like,
I'm playing somewhere in between,
again, you're kind of walking the thin line in the middle.
walking the thin line. My Venn diagram is four sphere. Art means science, means courage, means stupidity. Right in the middle, tiny dot.
Tiny dot. That's you.
That's me.
Ah, damn. Interesting. So you've done some amazing, massive celebrity weddings as well. We're not going to name names, but we already know who some of them are. How do you handle the pressure? Because it requires a lot from you to take on such a big project and to deliver. It's also a lot that you need to expect from your staff because they have to kind of, perform a certain way and also behave a certain way. And how do you manage that? Because like you said, a big part of yours is also HR. Right now also it's still that. That is never going to go away.
You want the right answer or the nice sounding answer?
No, right answer. I don't want any nice sounding answers.
No, nice sounding. You want the smart answer or the right answer? I can actually give you both.
Give me both. Give me the smart
The
answer
smart
first.
answer. I would tell my 19-year-old self
Oh my god,
is
look
what.
at how his tone also changed, like scientific reason behind it.
Yeah. Just take a deep breath and
Soothing.
enjoy.
Yes.
Right. Have fun. Don't forget to have fun. That is how you handle pressure.
And the right answer.
The right answer is you're just a chicken without head. You're a headless
Oh my
chicken.
god.
The only science I've not figured out is how to manage pressure at such situations, because
Interesting.
the curveballs come in from all directions, right?
When you least expect them.
When you least expect them, the expectations are sky high, and that something you signed up for. I mean,
Yeah.
if you were going into the World Cup thinking, this is how I win this match, well, Pakistan should have won it, strategy wise. But there is some amount of that unknown which you just need to embrace, and that's
Go with the flow.
go with the flow. Sometimes the flow takes you only.
No option.
No option. And sometimes it's like a bloody flood which just
Yeah.
takes you wherever. But it's just honestly take a deep breath, because
I'm literally taking a deep breath right now.
yeah, because what's the worst that can happen, right? Just national media is waiting for your images to release. Just
Big
200 celebrities waiting to get your job done so
Big
that they can
deal.
come and greet them.
Big deal.
Yeah, big deal. जॉब तो है ही, तो रेज्यूमे थोड़ा डेंटेड है, but
That's okay.
so yeah, there's no science to the pressure handling.
The pressure. So the pressure is always there. You just have to power through.
But I like it. It's something I read about Usain Bolt. Somebody asked him, how are you like chill before the big races because you're always doing this? And his answer was to the tune of, thank God you guys don't have X-ray vision. I was Basically, I was wetting my pants when I'm doing this. But he likes that nervous
Yeah.
energy. It keeps you alive. It keeps you very human.
Interesting.
And yeah, your spidey senses work really well.
Yeah, when you channel that energy.
When you channel that energy and you just channel your spidey senses
Yeah.
into the job, I think you come out even better than if you just walk in thinking, oh, walk in the park. Next thing you'll only be walking in the
In the
park
park
only.
only, shooting butterflies.
Office band karke, you will be walking in the park only. So
Interesting. Nice. And how do you keep your staff kind of, at bay? Because they also, sometimes somebody gets starstruck. Sometimes they get like carried away.
yeah.
How do you kind of tell them, ki bache log, behave?
I mean, you do set some ground rules. For example, don't drink
Yeah.
when you're sort of at a shoot at no stage,
Yeah.
or sort of wear the right clothes for the right occasion, things like that. But fundamentally, the DNA of an organization needs to be set in place so that it can self multiply. It's almost like that Darwinian evolution where the species figures out how to multiply if the DNA starting point
Is
strand is
correct.
strong enough. So that core team, which everybody looks up to, if their
Behavior is a certain
behavior
way.
is fine, if they are leading from the front, the rest of it automatically follows. Rather than that bottom-up approach where before every assignment you want to brief everyone as to, you're not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah,
Right? That DNA, that cracking that DNA right takes the longest.
that is true.
So yeah, it only took us like 100,000 years to get the human DNA right.
Just good.
So 10 years for my wedding photography company.
It's
chalta
not bad.
hai. So yeah.
Nice. And okay, let's get into a little bit of a fun question. What are some of the misconceptions around celebrity weddings that you've like heard of or noticed? Like going into the celebrity wedding kind of bandwagon and you're like, अरे ये तो बहुत सुना था पर ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है. And what are some of the things that are bang on, right? Correct.
So when and every time we shoot somebody of a certain stature, right, I'll get a few calls from my friends or messages. Oh my God, having fun, what a life. I want to be her assistant. And
You'll be like, please, Aja, I need help.
so there's a funny joke actually. There's a friend of mine who is from IIT Kharagpur, I'm Calcutta. And he used to keep messaging me these things every time after a good event. मजे हैं, travel कर रहे हो, अच्छा खा रहे हो, take me as your assistant. So one of the days I said, आना है, you're going to Thailand for a wedding. Like, for real? So come. So the guy said, okay, cool. I'm like, bro, I only have one sort of role available for you. It's a production assistant. So you just have to like carry around the tripod, take data backup and all that. And whatever, chill, sleep, eat. उसको 3 दिन तक sleep ही नहीं मिला. So
be careful what you wish for.
yeah. So it was that genie turned into devil, and
yeah.
poor guy, right? Banker back in Bombay, running around on Thailand ka beaches with a tripod. So it is when you're taking up these big assignments, right? The misconception is, oh my God, they're attending the party of the year, and they must be having a ball.
It's not.
It's not. It's a lot of work. You don't end up with buddies with Shah Rukh and Salman.
No.
Unfortunately.
Shucks.
Yeah. I don't know. I tried.
No.
So you're not like you're still a service provider there, right? It's just different people.
Yeah.
What is fun though is, and I'll just go the arm's length and just say it, right? No offense to anyone, but I feel these guys, any celebrities we shoot, whether it's in the field of business or entertainment, I found them to be as human as the rest of us are. They make the same silly mistakes. They talk the same way as we do. They have the same insecurities as we do.
Probably more sometimes.
They don't look the same way as we do. They do
much better.
Much better. But other than that, it's the same, yeah. So it's so amazing to see that somebody that you sort of looked up with so much of admiration and awe is after all mortal and human just like you.
Yeah.
So I'm just a few hit movies away from becoming a superstar.
Only little.
One,
Thoda sa.
Done. Almost there.
I like it. So there is a common kind of thing that we always romanticize weddings, right? Like weddings are always like, oh, like this pool gir raha hai, very nice. This
Slow
and that.
motion.
Yeah. What do you wish your clients kind of understood going in when you kind of, take on a project and you reach there and then you like, yeah, I wish this person already knew this.
वेडिंग में आई फील कॉलेज में वो रोल कॉल होता था ना अटेंडेंस वाला वो वेडिंग में भी होना चाहिए
ये मामा जी है ये
नो आर यू प्रेजेंट इन योर ओन डैम वेडिंग
Oh yeah.
People are just not present in their own weddings, right? Their mind is running in 1,000
That
directions.
is true.
Morning mehndi, she's worried about the evening sangeet ka mera heel is a problem.
Oh my
So
god.
you're not present in your own mehndi, right?
So then your photos don't come out well.
Not just your photos, it's a lifetime celebration, yaar. You want to be present. You want to live every
That moment.
Right? You want to enjoy. You want to meet those friends. Some of which that reunion is happening after so long and might not happen for another long period of time.
Yeah.
So I wish there is like those MCs could go and say, "Bride, are you present?"
Are you here?
I am.
Present
Yeah.
miss.
Present miss. And then you just go out and enjoy. That's my big advice to any wedding. Could be celebrity, non-celebrity.
Nice.
Rest doesn't matter, man. Right?
बाकी तो होता रहता है.
Yeah, wedding is like a MasterChef. What's that? Mystery box.
Mystery.
Or,
You never know.
yeah, like Forrest Gump box of chocolates, right? You never know which shit is coming your way.
Oh yeah. And you've also you don't just do weddings, right? You've also done corporate shoots, etc.
Yeah, we do bunch of things. We not corporate shoots, a lot of not a lot of that, but anything to do with storytelling, right? So be it making films about certain people's lives, right? Like there are clients of ours who sort of are the lifetime achievement award category kind of people, right? They've accomplished a lot. So we like telling the stories.
Oh, nice. That's very cool.
It's that. Since we are in a seasonal job, we also get a lot of time other than weddings. And then we just shoot whatever our heart wants.
Desires.
There's no commerce involved there.
Nice.
So we'd be shooting. We recently participated in a film festival where we had to make a movie in 50 hours. Some of us did that. Somebody could be out there learning a FPV drone. It's just go out, shoot your heart out, just be content and happy with your art.
Nice.
And then fill up some of the dates with wedding.
Nice. That's a little nice sidebar for anybody who wants to join Reels and Frames, guys. This is all that you can expect.
Yeah. It's a very chill life.
Oh no, so not very chill until the wedding comes and then you don't sleep for 3 days.
Then you don't sleep for 3 days.
Like you said, since you're in a seasonal job, technically it's difficult to manage your money.
Yeah, cash flow.
Cash flow.
Yeah.
How do you kind of tackle that as a business and personally?
I mean, first 2 years are obviously very confusing, right? Because you don't have enough data points to understand how your cash flow is going to look like and what to make out of what happened last year. But since we've been in the business for a while, there is a certain understanding of cash flow management. You want to have certain liquidity. So even at a company level, we keep a certain amount of liquidity, or at a personal level, I keep a certain amount of liquidity. So I'm not all vested into investments because I understand that there is that fund that is required. And then that is communicated all the way down because everybody understands that off season, there's going to be less work. People will have more travel. They want to spend that hard-earned money. So my advice always is, again, please plan your cash flows out.
Accordingly.
You need to have a certain amount of liquidity in your bank because what if an opportunity arises and you want to park that money somewhere? So you need to have that.
Like Coldplay tickets. So
like
that nobody got this week.
Coldplay tickets. Yeah, man. It was all
so
my liquidity and no Coldplay. But I think... So I've watched them. I can live without the Bombay thing. I've watched them very recently.
Yeah? When did you see them?
In this summer in Portugal.
Oh, nice. I watched them in Bangkok.
Yeah. So
that's fun. I'm good. Like I mean, I would have liked to see them again, but it's okay.
Yeah. This is the only first world problem that I'm proud of. After yesterday, I became proud of it. I've been there, done that.
Been there. It's fine.
Yeah. I'll live with my first world problem, not watching Coldplay again.
Nice. And if somebody was young and starting out in, let's say, the field, what would be, now because it is finally a finance podcast, what would you, 3 pieces of advice that you would give them as they start out?
In photography?
Yes.
Invest on yourself. Fortunately, you can do that for cheap now. The education is freely available. So you don't need to be literate by going to a film institute. You could be educated while at home.
Nice.
So invest in that. The second thing is, please do at least a 2 or 3 year plan, because the first 1 year is going to have the lowest return on time just by the virtue of the business, because you are partly into a service as well. You're going to be doing a lot of your own sale. So just factor that in and have a 2 or 3 year plan rather than a 1 year plan. And my third advice to anyone, forget photographer or otherwise, I'll give it to Simba if he has the monies. Please start investing your money. You'll
man after my own heart.
So I mean, you will not become rich because of your profession. You'll become wealthy because of your investment.
Very true.
Simple as that.
Very true. And for all the investment advice, please follow FinCocktail. Now, plug in right here.
Like, subscribe, and follow.
Thank you so much. This was a great chat. It was literally like just friends sitting around and talking, but that was the aim of the game.
Absolutely. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
You know it. You're not going to be rich just by that day job that you have. You're going to be rich by watching the FinCocktail, because they tell you really, really cool tips on how to become wealthy.
Yes.
So now go watch.
Yes.